Large-scale Scrum is a lightweight framework designed to scale Scrum across multiple teams working on the same product. Unlike the traditional enterprise scaling frameworks that introduces additional layers of management and complexity, such as the scaled agile framework, the let's say the large scale Scrum approach maintains the lease and flexible structure that allows the teams to remain agile while working a more collaborative way. Large scale Scrum encourages the transparency, team autonomy, and continuous improvement, helping the organizations to scale without losing their core benefit of Scrum. It's best suited for companies who's looking to scale agile without introducing the unnecessary maybe changes or complexity. But how large scale Scrum scales is, it can work within your team. So and large scale Scrum approach, all teams can work from a single product backlog, ensuring that the alignment on business priorities and the product owner maintains this backlog, ensuring the constancy and requirements across the teams. The Scrum events, as we have explained before, including the sprint uh, planning, which is conducted in a coordinated manner. Sprint planning, where the team discuss the shared goals before breaking into individuals' planning sessions. Also, the daily Scrum. So, when it held separately for each of the teams with cross team synchronization as needed. Sprint reviews and the sprint retrospectives, where the teams shares the outcomes, learning, and improvements. Here are some of the key principles of this adoption. So, this is built around principles that encourages the simplicity, the parallel process control, and customer-focused approach. Some of its key principles include more with less. By scaling should not introduce complexity. Instead, the processes should be streamlined. The next key principle here we have is transparency and continuous learning, where the teams must be empowered to inspect and adapt continuously. The third key principle in large scale Scrum approach is the customer centric development, where the teams should focus on delivering value rather than just completing the tasks. We already have discussed the key differences between the, uh, the scaled agile framework and the large scale Scrum approach. So to recap what we have said, so both less and the scaled agile framework aims to scale agile, but they are different in a more significant way, such as the SAV introduces multiple layers like the portfolio, the program, and team levels, while less or large scale Scrum approach maintains a flat structure with minimal roles. When it comes to decision making in SFE, it's centralized, whereas in less, it encourages the team autonomy. The scaled agile framework is more structured, making it suitable for highly regulated industries, while less is more adaptable and encourages the flexibility. Let's look at one of these real world cases when implementing large scale Scrum within a healthcare company. So, a large healthcare company has adopted LeSS to improve the collaboration among its software development, compliance, and data analytics teams. Before LeSS or before utilizing the large scale Scrum approach, each team worked on isolation, causing the misalignment and duplicated efforts. And by implementing single shared backlog and synchronized the sprint planning, Teams has improved the communication, leading to 30% reduction in development time and better regulatory compliance alignment. Some challenges that you might face when implementing less at your organization. So, implementing less is not without challenges, and common issues include the resistance to change. Since the traditional project managers or the operational managers may struggle with the reduced control. Also, when it comes to cross team dependencies, one of these challenges. So, without having a proper backlog refinement, dependencies can slow the progress. Also, needing for training. So, the training needs, so the team must be educated on less principles and practices to avoid the resistance to change and not being able to optimize the benefit of using less framework. And here are some of the best practices to adopt less in your organization. So successfully implement less, start with a small let's say movement. So it's like you begin with a pilot project before scaling. If that succeed, then you can move forward by implementing the project into or implementing the approach or the framework into a larger scale or a larger project requirements. And then you need to emphasize collaboration. By emphasizing on collaboration, conducting a shared backlog refinement session, ensure that all of the teams are aligned on the product backlog responsibility, who's gonna let's say deliver the sprint goal, who's gonna say implement that sprint goal, this feature, that requirements. And that is the importance of collaboration. And also, to one of these best practices is to encourage the team ownership by shifting the decision making to let's say to the development teams. How to measure the success and less adoption? So measuring the success and less requires tracking for the lead time, which we already have shown what it means by the time taken for an idea to let's say for the product release. So it's like the whole time that is needed from the idea generation to the product release. Also, to measure the success and large scale Scrum framework, can measured by the customer satisfaction, where you can obtain the feedback from the stakeholder about maybe the delivery, the quality, implementation timeline, and the other aspect of the project. One of these also measurement is the team collaboration scores, where it evaluates how well the team worked together. To look at one of these case study also and implementing less in one of these large telecom companies. So a telecom giant has a telecom giant needed to integrate agile across multiple engineering teams. And before utilizing large scale Scrum feature development, the let's say before implementing the framework, the feature development were was fragmented, leading to missed deadlines. And by adopting the shared backlog and synchronized sprint planning, they improved the product development efficiency and cutting new product launch times from 6 months to 3 months. And to conclude our session on large scale agile framework or large scale Scrum framework, so LIS is best suited for organizations that prioritize the flexibility, autonomy, and transparency. It helps teams to scale without losing agile values. And compared to the SAV, LIS is simpler but requires a strong team collaboration.